leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you, Jay, you knucklehead.
This is
I
Jay.
saw what you did.
Yeah, I'm practicing my social distancing.
I'll just play the music over you.
I'm practicing my. I'm at the microphone's across the room.
The microphone's not supposed to be across the room, Jay.
Oh, okay. I'll bring it back closer then.
You can even lift it up to you.
Good morning, everyone. Please remember to practice your social distancing today.
Your wife must be thrilled about that.
And forever.
You could sit on different parts of the house.
Actually, she is quite thrilled. It's her excuse. Please, social distancing.
Social
please.
distancing.
Yes, go to the other room.
Honey, you can go in your room and watch TV, and I'll go in my room and watch TV.
Well, it's her room and work and my room and work. But yeah, that's kind of
Everybody's
what we
working
do.
from home right now?
Yeah. It's I'm sure there's people all around. You know, unfortunately, there's also people that are out of work because of this. Especially the restaurant industry, the bar industry have been hurt particularly hard. So
I put up on my Facebook page earlier this week that the Greg Hill Foundation, Greg Hill, the guy that's on WEI, used to be the Hillman on WAAF.
Yeah.
He and the owner of Samuel Adams, Koch. Yeah, Koch. Got I think a couple $100,000, and they're giving out $1,000 grants to grants, not loans, grants to restaurant workers who are furloughed. I also noticed the governor put rules into effect that if you apply for unemployment, if you're a restaurant worker, you apply for unemployment, you can get a check almost immediately. You don't have to wait.
Things aren't happening very quickly, so for the latest.
I think the federal government passed a $1 trillion spending bill.
Yeah,
trillion with a T.
Go to the appropriate official website to get the facts and find out how to apply for things like that.
We all may be getting a check, Jay.
Well,
even those who said not my president.
Don't rely on rumors. Go and
no, they passed it last night. Is what I've.
Don't rely on rumors. Go out and find the facts.
Oh,
and
Jay.
find and apply. It sure as heck can't hurt. And one more thing: watch out for the scams.
Oh, there's a ton of them.
It's unfortunate, but people they take advantage of this stuff, and people are still vulnerable. So, and get out and support your local restaurants that are open and have takeout. That's what I've been trying to do at least every other day. Is do a takeout from somewhere. Your favorite local restaurant. Most of them that have had takeout before are continuing that. So at least at the other side of this, we hope all those businesses will come back, open up, and we'll be back to somewhat of a semblance of order. So anyway, we want to thank everybody for joining us this morning in our 8 o'clock hour. Kate Phelan from the Greater Westfield
7
Chamber
o'clock hour?
of... Did I say 8 o'clock?
Yes, your 8 o'clock hour is Mark Auerbach with Arts Beat.
I lied. In our 8 o'clock hour, Mark Auerbach will be here on the air. In our 7 o'clock hour, Kate Phelan's going to stop by. And
I got to keep you on track, brother.
Well, I had to stop and get my Dunkin' coffee this morning. Dunkin' drive-thrus are open, so I had to stop and get my Dunkin' this morning. I haven't finished it yet.
You didn't bring me one?
Well, oh man,
I didn't ask either. So
now I feel bad. That's Bob. That's Tuesday. Bob brings us coffee.
I know, but today I had city council last night, and we pulled off a bit of a miracle in less than 24 hours' notice. Half the council, there's a fairly large at-risk population in the city council, just like in the general population. We had 6 counselors from home and 7 counselors in chambers, which were all, pretty good spaced apart. They spaced everybody out. So we pulled off a meeting, and everybody was able to hear everybody, and it was a little clunky because that's the nature of the beast, but all the city business that was had to be taken care of last night on the agenda was taken care of.
No, thank you for being the behind-the-scene.
Well, not me. I mean, I had a lot of help yesterday. I couldn't have pulled this off without the technology center. They really worked. They just said, whatever you need, basically whatever you need, let's get this done. And now we're exploring options to have the full council, if we need to, be out at their homes. Like the news media, even Channel 22 is exploring the option, and they've done it where their reporters can work from home and just get dispatched out from home.
And I've got to tip my hat to all of yourself you are a good example. All of the people, the technology geeks, I'm one of them too, but everybody's pulling together to find ways to do our business, to
make it all work,
keep things rolling.
Yep.
I'm suspecting that the internet as a whole is probably had as much traffic in the last week or so than it has ever seen.
I would love to see the numbers on that
from
like the major providers and how they're keeping up with this.
I mean, yesterday I had a series of conference calls. In my real job, obviously, as I manage somewhere between 20 now and 32 people, and they're across southern New England. No, they're across New England, up into New Hampshire now, and the
logistics of it.
The logistics of that is one thing. But from a corporate point of view, with the news changing every day, what we can, what we can't do, there's a lot going on.
Well, and all the businesses now that are closed.
Yeah.
I mean, how many offices you can get into just to get into them? And I suppose this is the time where you can get preventative maintenance done and get it out of the way without copier usage and things like that.
Well, yes and no. To be honest with you, we made a conscious decision to look. Don't go out unless somebody really needs you. Now,
emergency calls only.
Yeah, there are businesses that they need their printer, they need their electronics, they need their devices working in the office in order to keep going. And I'll put hospitals at the top of the list,
yep.
Healthcare, and obviously there's others as well. So we made a conscious decision to look. We're maintaining our complete staff. We're not doing anything to change that, but we're going to. This is a good chance to catch up on all that online training and things that we never have time for.
Well, you know what? Some of the restaurants have done that too to keep their staff employed, for at least for the short term. Like I saw an article that Nathan Bill's restaurant over in Springfield is saying, "Hey, there's projects we've been doing to really clean this place up. I mean, spring cleaning, painting, things like that." That's what they're doing right now. They're keeping their wait staff employed to do stuff they normally wouldn't do, like paint and really deep clean the restaurant, which they haven't been able to do in a while. Deep clean the kitchen, which they haven't been able to do in a while. And then they're staying open for takeout too. And so these are awesome ideas.
Yeah. So whatever we can do to keep things rolling, we know we have people that can't go out. As you mentioned, there's some at-risk folks out there, so we've made accommodations for them as well. Most of our business, with the exception of the customer-facing employees, can be done remotely. But as I'm going through my day full of conference calls yesterday, even the cell phones were starting to get intermittent. I have no doubt that's the kind of taxing we're doing to our electronic communications infrastructure. You're right. I'd love to see what the numbers have done in the last 2 weeks.
Because this is kind of like a natural disaster where you have diminished capacity and then everybody wants to call.
Yeah.
And then not only on top of the coronavirus, but we had a 5.9 earthquake in Utah, I think it was.
Oh,
Utah.
I did see that. Yeah.
So there's natural disasters going on to boot. Those are places where, and I've been telling people, we don't have it. I mean, our supply lines are open here. So in Utah, some of those supply lines are now closed because of roads and things like that. Luckily, we have, knock on wood, we haven't had any hurricane type events. But if this thing continues out into hurricane season, that could compound the problem. So, I think, no matter what you think about the knucklehead in charge, the government is doing their best to do what they can. I know that I saw a news conference yesterday. The president said that he was going to be able to. He talked to the cruise ship industry. They're not working right now, so they were talking about, like they do for the Super Bowl, moving a ship into place if you need more rooms to house people for hospitals, or if you want to quarantine people. You pull in a cruise ship, 2,400 rooms, right there, done. You can quarantine people on a ship. You can put healthcare workers on there. Obviously, we see the ship is contained, as we've seen with the spread in a ship. But, the hospital ships are getting geared up. The Navy has 2 of them, one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. One's undergoing repairs on the East Coast. The other one, I think, in the West Coast is getting geared up. So there's a lot of assets. And, the president said this. I saw this, and you completely forget about it. What was your favorite show in the 70s when you were younger?
In the 70s?
Yeah.
All in the Family.
MASH.
Oh, well, there's that.
Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. They have them. They need to they can gear them up and deploy them. So there's all these other assets. The governor of New York I saw talking about.
I was trying to figure out how Meathead was going to help, but that's...
They're trying to gear up, trying to look at buildings to put in for warehouse space to make hospitals out of. Well, the government can deploy those assets now.
Yeah, and so somebody is finally listening to the people that know and utilizing that knowledge and putting it in place. We're going in the right direction. We're going to get to the other side of this. So I do it from a positive point of view. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that have closed. There's a lot of things that have had to be canceled. Now, our concert series is one of those. So we put out word in the last day or so.
I saw that. I'm kind of bummed about that because I was looking forward to a room full of blues. But
well, that's all right. We're talking to the bands, and they understand. Certainly, it's not just us. But we're working with them to reschedule in the fall, and we're gonna fire this series up again September October timeframe. So let's see what happens. I think we'll still be able to put together a nice little concert series next year,
next summer or next fall.
Next fall. We're also looking into the summer. I'm working with the Westfield on Weekends folks for the concerts on the Green. We're moving forward with plans, although we can't say it's definitely going to happen yet. But we do have a end of June concert planned, as well as
on the Green, if we're back into business by then.
If we're back in business by June, the concert will take place at the end of June. I think it was June 26th, whatever the last Thursday in June was. I guess they wanted to put it as late as possible, and as it turns out, that's good. I can say that we have a great 70s and 80s band lined up. I haven't signed anything yet, so I can't tell you who it is. And in the same genre, I think late 70s, 80s, a tribute band that I know everyone will recognize is lined up for August. Also working with the folks in Artworks, and we're going to try and keep the Friday afternoon, Friday evening
in the lot.
In the lot, next to
Locals in the lot.
Yeah, next to Mina's Wine and
That's
Spirits.
A fun little. I'd love to see more people come out for that because it's a great little venue. The acoustics are actually not bad because of the 2 buildings on either side. You don't have to use a lot of amplification in that space. And with the bouncing off the buildings, the acoustics are pretty decent in that space.
It's a fun little thing. I'm going to try and work with them. They've asked me to work with them a little bit and bring a more consistent sound system in. So if my schedule pans out, and I think it will at this point, because everything else I was going to plan on has been canceled.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
We'll try and work with them for that. I still have a big blues concert at the end of May 30th out in Brimfield at the Brimfield Winery. That's still on the schedule. I'll know more in a month or so if we're going to keep that on the schedule. But that should be fun. In fact, that's going to be James Montgomery headlining that one. So as much as we had so much fun having him here in town. And by the way, James Montgomery, if you've never seen him, if you've never worked with him before, probably most of you haven't, he is just a joy to work with. And when we were all done with the show up here back in January, he comes to Patrick and I and makes mention that, I've been trying to put together an all-star band, and this would be a perfect venue for it. He loved the room over at 28 Court Street. So this is something that I think you're going to see some surprising names come by through here next fall. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what else is going on. I think that's about it. We're going to go into our golden age of radio. Run an episode of what have you got queued up in there, Peter?
I have Gunsmoke.
Oh, okay.
Now we can either do two of them.
Now we'll just do one because we've got Kate Phelan coming in.
All right. I need more time to prep for Kate Phelan. She gave me a mountain of graphics.
That's okay. So we'll give you that time to do Gunsmoke.
How about we do Billy the Kid starring William Conrad?
Now, see, that'd be fun. Okay. And put yourself in the fantasy of the old Wild West, of the good old USA. Going back, when was this set? Would have been back in the late 1800s, right?
Yeah, late 1800s. Yeah, that sounds about the right time frame for Gunsmoke.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun. You don't see westerns.
Drift back into the days of yesteryear.
Yeah. So this is J. Pagluca, Pete Coles on the other side of the board helping us out as he always does. Here is JP's Golden Age of Radio.
Around Dodge City, into the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke.
Gunsmoke, the story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Wanted for murder.
Wanted for murder.
Clay Richards.
Clay Richards.
Age 31.
31.
Height 6 feet. Eyes brown. Hair red.
Eyes brown, hair red. Hey, how'd you like me to print his picture on these notices? I got a woodcut. Well, let me show you. Ernie!
Yeah?
Fetch your marshal a copy of that front page. Interviewing Clay's wife yesterday, I noticed a tintype on the mantel, their wedding photograph. So, first thing you know, I snitched it.
It's very thoughtful.
Yeah, I'll take it, Ernie.
Here.
And then I propped it up in front of me and carved me this woodcut. Ain't she prime? Ain't she just elegant?
Real elegant.
Good likeness, don't you think? Of course, he was 7 or 8 years younger with the tintype.
Yeah, it's a good likeness.
That's his hair shorter.
Doesn't show what makes a law-abiding man like him try to rob a bank. Doesn't look like a man who murdered an old cashier and a Chinese cook who just happened to be
Sure
there.
sweated over it, though.
But it's a good likeness.
Yes, sir, it is. A picture like this sure dresses up the front page, don't it?
Yeah, it's a little masterpiece, Mr. Hightower, a notable contribution to the culture of Dodge City.
Well, thank you, Marshal. Does fetch the eye, don't it? I'm printing an extra 500 copies of the weekly, and I bet I sell them all. Too bad the cashier's shot went wild. If he'd managed to kill Clay or even wing him, why, I bet I could sell 1,000 extra copies.
We must be thankful for the blessings we do receive, Mr. Hightower.
Oh, I am, Marshal, I am. Why, just before it happened yesterday afternoon, I didn't know what I was going to fill my columns with, and then, like manna from heaven, 2 murders and a bank robbery.
Attempted bank robbery, Mr. Hightower. He turned and ran before he got his hands on so much as $1.
Yes.
Still, as you say, like manna.
Dillon,
I'm talking business. What is it, Chester?
Well, it can wait, I guess, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, print Clay's picture on those notices, Mr. Hightower. Now, where were we?
Eyes brown, hair red.
Oh, yeah. Also known as Red, Bricktop, and Sorrel. He didn't answer to no other nicknames, did he?
No, that's what they called him.
All right, then in big letters, $400 reward. Dead or alive. And at the bottom, apply Matt Dillon, Marshal, Dodge City. Print 200 copies. How soon can I send Chester over for him?
This afternoon.
Good morning, Mr. Hightower. Chester.
Think those posters will do any good? Richards is probably over the line into Oklahoma or Colorado by now. That Strawberry Roan of his is the fastest in the county.
He has no money. He panicked and ran out of the bank before he got a penny. I think he'll try to get help from his wife or brother or a friend the first chance he has, maybe tonight. I say he's around here somewhere. I'm sorry I turned on you like that, Chester.
Why, that's all right, Mr. Dillon. Out all night with a posse, no sleep, man's bound to get touchy.
No, it's not that. It's the way... It's the way people use a thing like this. The men riding posse last night, they enjoyed it as though they were hunting fox or possum. Hightower back there, he acts like it was a birthday treat, specially gotten up for him. Everybody finds a way to use it. What was it you wanted to tell me?
Oh, I got a kid, a little boy, locked up in the cell. Run away from home back in Cottonwood. Ed Slade turned him over to me when he come through on the stagecoach just now. Kid about 12 years old.
Whose is he?
Widow woman, Miss Bonnie. She runs a boarding house in Cottonwood. Ed says kid's always running away a little while, I guess. He flagged Ed for a ride on the road halfway between there and here. Soon as Ed seen him stand there with his bundle on his shoulder, he knowed what he was up to. So he told the kid he'd help him and then turn him over to us when he got here.
All right, we'll send a telegram to the mother to come fetch him. Well, come on in, Chester, and shut the door.
Mr. Dillon?
You're letting in every horse fly in Kansas.
Mr. Dillon, I think you better cancel the order for them notices.
What?
The Dutchman's coming up the street, and he's leading a Strawberry Roan, and Clay Richards is draped across his back.
Like a sack of wheat across the saddle. Last time I saw him, 2 days ago, he was standing at the bar laughing his head off. A sack of wheat across the saddle. And followed by half the saloon bums and loafers in town. All right, Chester, make him keep back.
All right, now stand back, you fellas. Come on now, back. Stand back.
Ziegler? How'd it happen, Ziegler?
My goat, my old billy goat, he pushes open the fence last night and runs away.
Forget your goat. What about Clay?
Yeah, I tell you. This morning I go to look for the goat. I walk here, there. Near the river, I see Clay. He sits there. I say, hello, Clay. Wie geht's?
You dirty Dutchman. You no good dog. Clay was your best friend. He helped you buy your farm, so you killed him for
All right, all of you. Keep back, everybody.
Clay? Me? No, my brother, he was like... We was in the war together. But listen.
You killed him for the reward.
Not so! I kill nobody. Not since Gettysburg. Clay is dead already when I find him. I don't even own a pistol.
Ziegler, inside, quick.
Yeah.
Chester, give me a hand with Clay. All right, all of you. Listening. I will not tolerate a disturbance. You know me. I got him, Chester. Take his leg. All right, kick the door shut.
Marshal, I don't kill Clay.
On this table, Chester. What'd you do with Clay's gun? His holster's empty.
Gun? Clay's? I ain't got it. I don't even own one.
Chester, see if it slipped out. while
His
we were
holster was empty coming up the street. First thing I noticed. Maybe it's over on the...
Another customer? Why, that's 3 in less than a day. Oh, bountiful harvest. My fees this month will keep me in luxury. In luxury.
Doc, I want to have an inquest as soon as possible.
Well, as soon as I finish the autopsy, shouldn't take long with the practice I've had this week, huh? No. Late afternoon all right with you? I'll take him up to my office right now. No, thank you, Chester. I can carry him all by myself here. You just open the door there like a good fella. Yeah, Marshal, tell the city fathers I'd like to make a deal when the corpses are as famous as this one. Back in 53 in San Francisco, a fellow I knew earned a fortune exhibiting the head of Joaquin Murrieta. Tell them if they'll let me keep the remains, I'll do the autopsies for nothing.
Shut the door, Chester. Ziegler, where is it you met Clay on the river?
By the fort. This side by the fort.
Ride out there, Chester, and see if you can find Clay's gun. Maybe he dropped it when he was shot.
I did not shoot Clay.
Sure.
I did not. I had no reason to. I did not.
Now, you listen to me. Maybe you think Dodge has got so big I don't know about everything that goes on here. Well, if you do, you're wrong. If you think I don't know about the bank having an overdue mortgage on your farm, you're wrong. $400 is reason enough for a struggling farmer like you.
No. Could not do such a thing. I am a human being.
To a peace officer, Ziegler, that's enough grounds for suspicion. But whether you did it or not will be decided at your trial. In the meantime, you just stop yammering about it.
Trial? Me?
Even when I shoot somebody, I stand trial. If they find it's justifiable homicide, and they probably will, Clay being a wanted man, then they'll let you off. And if not...
Please, I am permitted to go now.
Go. Are you crazy?
My farm, this stock, I must look after it.
You sit right down. You want to be lynched? You're trying to get yourself murdered? Have you forgotten about Clay's brother, Adam?
Adam would not believe I shot him.
What difference does it make whether he believes it or not? His brother's been killed. Everybody's looking to him to do something about it, and he knows it. You want me to guess where he is right this minute? He's in one of them saloons lapping up courage to come in here and ask me to give you to him for a present. You want to know who's with him? Every loafer, every bum, every slob in town. Slapping him on the back and telling him what a shame it is. Egging him on to kill you so that they can have some excitement and some fun. Well, maybe you deserve killing, but it's my job to uphold the law, and I'm not letting you out of here.
What? I tell
You might
that...
spend your time trying to think up a better story. That is, if you intend to stay in this town. All right, now think back. Didn't Clay go for his gun before you shot him?
I tell you, I didn't. If I'm not under arrest, you have no right to keep me here. I got to look after my farm. I go.
All right, Chester, lock him up.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon. Come on now, Ziegler. Step out, Sonny. This cage is bespoke.
Who's in there, Chester?
That little old runaway from Cottonwood?
Oh. Yeah, come over here, son. Come over here to me.
I know who you are.
You do you?
You bet. You're Matt Dillon.
I'm guilty.
I knowed you right off. You was pointed out to me one day back home. Filler says you was the fastest gun thrower in Kansas.
Wyatt Earp wouldn't be awful interested to hear that, I'm afraid.
Filler says you was faster than Old Earp. Faster than Wild Bill Hickok in Hay City and Bat Masterson or any of them. How many fellas have you killed?
You don't keep score, son. It's something you try to forget.
Not me. Someday I'll be famous like you, and for every filler I kill, I'll put a notch on my gun. People will see those notches, and they'll know they better not try.
Why'd you run away from home, Bub? Don't you know your mother's likely to worry about you?
Oh, she won't worry. She's too busy working. You ain't gonna make me go back, are you? You wouldn't do that, would you?
Well...
Because it wouldn't stop me for long. I'd only run away again.
Oh, where are you off to in such a sweat?
Oh, Texas, California, Mexico. A fella can accomplish things there, not like living in old Cottonwood. If you let me go, someday when I'm famous, you can tell people you helped get me started.
Well, that's a pretty strong inducement. I'll have to think about it for a while. And, look, while I'm making up my mind, I want you to give me your word. Word of a man who'll be famous someday that he won't try to run away from me. Otherwise, I'll have to have Chester lock you up again.
Oh, I'll shake on that.
Good. Chester, I want you to go look for Clay's gun.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
And on the way, stop off and send that telegram. You know?
Hmm? Oh, that telegram. Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon. I'll do
Where's
that right.
Ziegler?
It's all right, Chester. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
Where's that murdering dog? Oh, there you are, you...
Not a
no-
single step further, Adam.
I want him, Dillon. He murdered Clay, shot him down without giving him a chance.
How do you know?
Because Clay wouldn't have let anyone catch him off guard except a friend. A friend. And now, Dillon, give me that Dutchman.
Try to take him.
Just like that?
It's like that.
And it's true what the fellas say. You made a deal with the Dutchman to give him the reward and to protect him if he'd kill Clay for you.
That was the deal, was it?
Yeah.
The fellas say why I'd make such a deal?
Dillon, it ain't no longer a secret around town that you and Francie want each other. But Clay was in the way. You had him killed so you could get his wife. Do you deny it?
No. It'll serve as well as any other crazy story. It'll work you up.
You think you're safe behind that star, don't you? Well, Clay had friends, lots of them. I'm coming back with them friends, and we'll get the Dutchman and you and anyone else who tries to stop us.
All right, Adam. I'll be waiting.
Yeah. You wait.
I almost seen something pretty just then, didn't I, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, almost. About another pint of whiskey ought to do it.
We will return for the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment, but first, many radio shows win high popularity with the prizes and cash they give away, but there's one show that's tops because the head man gives away as little as possible. What other radio program could it be but the Jack Benny Show? So be listening. And now, with William Conrad starred as Matt Dillon, here's the second act of Gunsmoke.
Son?
You say something, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, open that drawer in front of you there. You'll find a small bottle of oil in there. No, the one to the right. Yeah, that's it. Now, bring a little brush, too, huh?
Here it is.
Thanks, Bub.
It's a right nice gun you have.
Yeah, it's not bad, but a little stiff. Just a little stiff.
Don't it have a trigger? I never seen no gun without a trigger before.
Oh, you remove a trigger or tie it back against a guard. And all you have to do is thumb a hammer. Hey, like that. It's faster. Yeah, that's better now.
Remove the trigger. I'll remember that.
What in the world for?
Well, I remember everything you told me. About the Texas holster and the spring holster and the double roll and filing off the sight.
It's just me, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, any luck, Chester?
No, sir, not any. I went to the store first and asked Mr. Denton what kind of ammunition Clay Richards used to buy, and he told me Clay had a double-action 44. I scoured that riverbank a half-mile each way from the ford, and not a sign of it. I got that telegram off. You know who ought to be here pretty soon. It's only 7, 8 miles from...
Is there a fire in town?
Funeral services for Mr. Grinnell, the cashier.
So soon?
It's awful hot weather.
Yeah. Any of your guns need oiling, Chester?
I don't think so.
You sure? When Adam left, he said he'd be coming back with some friends.
I know. I stopped at the Alfreganta just now to rinse out my mouth. Adam was there talking mighty ugly and mighty big. He's got a sizable following.
When do you think?
Any minute now, Mr. Dillon. Want me to take Bub out of here to one of the hotels, maybe?
I want to see
No,
it.
I think you'll be safer here, Chester, behind stone walls and dodging about the streets rubbernecking.
You keep your head down, Sonny. You hear? There's a...
Matt, I gotta talk to you.
She ought to be in mourning. If she cared for Clay at all anymore, she ought to be in black.
Matt,
Oh, Lord, I find her more beautiful all the time.
Matt, have you heard what they're saying?
What are they saying, Francie?
That you and me, that you made Pete Ziegler kill him because of...
I'm sorry that got back to you, Francie.
It's all over Dodge. Adam almost strangled me before they dragged him off.
Francie, I didn't shoot Clay. Francie, I beg you, believe me.
Shut up, Ziegler.
Woman,
Shut up or I'll club you to death! Francie, it's just one of those crazy stories. They needed one and they made one up.
But, Matt, everyone believes it. On my way down here, people were pointing, whispering. Old women clucking their tongues at me. They believe it.
They'll forget it as soon as this is over. They'll remember that even if we once did go with each other, it was finished and done with even before the war ended, before you even met Clay.
No, they won't forget it. For the rest of my life, as long as I stay here.
Hold it a minute, Francie. Yeah, Doc, what is it?
Oh, am I interrupted?
What is it, Doc?
Our Topsy's finished. I examined his liver and lights his...
This is Mrs. Richards, Doc.
Oh, I beg your pardon, ma'am. I'm sure I meant no disrespect for the departed.
Well,
Clay was shot all right, but from the nature of the wound and the coagulation of the blood, I'd say it happened sometime yesterday. I'd say the cashier's bullet didn't go wild after all.
how could a dead man gallop away?
Well, the wound wasn't what killed Clay. The ball hit the rib case and it bounced off. 22 caliber it was. What did kill him was the stab in the back, right through the spine, inflicted sometime this morning. Now, near as I can judge, by a small blade, 2 or 3 inches long. It could have been a Barlow knife.
Thanks, Doc.
Please accept my condolences, Mr. Richard. You call the inquest anytime you're ready, Marshal.
Chester, close the door.
You see, I didn't do it. I didn't shoot him.
All right,
I told
then you
that
stabbed him, maybe. You said you never carried a gun. Look, Francie, go home and give matters a chance to simmer
Matt,
down.
I'm going to ask you for something.
Yeah?
Turn Pete Ziegler out into the street.
What? Francie, they're itching to get their hands on him.
Let him have him. It'll prove that story's a lie, that you didn't make a deal with him. Please, Matt, I have to live here. Clear me, I have to live here. Matt? Matt. Don't look at me like that.
Go home, Francie. Go home or leave town or hang yourself or anything you like. Just go away. Away! Right now.
I bought me a bottle at the Alfregans, Mr. Dillon. Would you care for a drink?
No.
Guess the funeral's over.
There'll be others.
Funny. Now I miss that bell. Awful quiet, ain't it? It's just...
Just about on schedule. Are you ready, Chester?
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
I use a shotgun if I were you. It's more effective when there's a mob to be dealt with.
Oh, yes, sir. I aim to.
Ziegler, and you too, son. If trouble starts, lie down flat on the floor and keep your head down all the time. Don't gawk to see what's happening. You understand me?
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
All right.
Dillon! Come out, Dillon! Come on!
Chester, I want you to stand here in the doorway after I go out, where you can cover the back door and me at the same time.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
All right, Chester. Open the door.
Come on now. It's my duty to warn all of you that you're in the breach of the peace. I've sworn to uphold the law. I've killed men in order to do it, and I'm prepared to do so again. Give us a Dutchman, Dillon. Men! I ask you to be sensible and to leave quietly. But if you refuse to listen to reason, if you insist upon being fools, if you've already decided to act like wolves instead of humans, then there's nothing I can say to make you change your minds. All right, you want Peter Ziegler? Well, he's not more than 20 feet behind me, so come on and get him, any of you. One at a time or all at once. Come on. Which one of you wants to die first? You? You, Adam? Well, what do you say, Adam? You let him here. Don't let this star on my coat stop you. Come on. There, I'm not wearing it now. Well, come on, draw, Adam, draw!
You all right, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah. Get his gun.
Man alive, I couldn't even see your hand move.
Marshal! Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell
Doc,
me.
you make one single funny remark and I'll knock you down. You just take him to your office and get to work.
Well, I never do mean to offend, Marshal. In my line of work, well, bodies, they're just so much lumber.
Make all the jokes about him you please, but not to me and not in my hearing. In my line of work, there's nothing humorous about death. Give him a hand, Chester.
No, I can handle it, Marshal. Thank you. Just the same.
Can you direct me to the marshal's office?
Yes, ma'am, right here. I'm Marshal Dillon.
Well, I left Cottonwood as soon as I got your telegram. I'm Miss Bonnie. Where's my boy?
Oh, we have him, ma'am, safe and sound. Here, let me help you down. Hitch that horse, Chester. Right this way, ma'am.
Oh, I'm so sorry he put you to all that trouble, Marshal. The truth of the matter is he's a wild one and no mistake. Takes after his father, one scrape after another.
He was no trouble at all. I enjoy children. I like to have them around. Bub, your ma's here. Son? Chester, where's the boy? Did you let him slip past you?
No, sir, Mr. Dillon. He never got past me. Look, the back door's open.
He seen me and he hightailed it, the devil.
We'll round him up for you, ma'am. Don't worry.
Oh, I don't know why I bother hauling him back. If he's run away once, he's run away 1,000 times. This time he ran because I wouldn't buy him a gun. He wanted a real one. That boy's just gun crazy, I swear. I got him a nice Barlow knife instead.
Barlow
I
knife?
reckon it didn't signify, and off he runs.
Barlow knife?
The kid. Chester, find that kid.
Marshal, has he done something bad with it? I told him to use it careful. He promised he'd use it careful.
No, never mind, Chester. He's got Clay's strawberry roan. We'd never catch up to him.
Oh, I try to bring him up right. I tell him to be good, but he don't listen. He just don't listen.
Now, calm yourself, ma'am. Just calm yourself.
Here's his little bundle, Mr. Dillon.
What? Yeah, give it to me. That's pretty heavy. Here, you're better at knots than I am. Open it, will you?
From the moment he was born, he's been nothing but tribulation to me.
Now, please, ma'am. What's he got in it, Chester?
Shirt, stockings, piece of sausage, and this.
44 double action.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon. That's Clay's gun. Sonny didn't manage to keep it long, did he?
Well, if he wants a gun that bad, he's bound to get hold of another one somewhere, somehow. Chester, call Mr. Hightower over.
Hey! Hey, Mr. Hightower! Oh. Come on over. Mr. Dillon wants you.
Marshal, could I have, please, a drink of water?
What? Oh, Ziegler. I forgot all about you. Chester, where are the keys?
Yeah, right there on the desk.
Oh. There we are. It'll be safe for you to go home now.
I can go back by the farm.
Yeah, that's right. I'll send for you for the trial.
Oh, danke schön. Danke schön.
Watch where you're going, you dumb...
Bitte, excuse me. Bitte.
Yes, Marshal.
Mr. Hightower, it appears that we can do business after all. Get some paper and a pencil. I want some notices printed.
Fire away.
Wanted for murder.
Wanted for murder.
What's the boy's name?
Bonnie. William Bonnie.
William Bonnie.
William Bonnie.
Age 12. Height about 5 feet. Hair light, eyes blue. I don't suppose he's known by any other name.
I know. Everybody just called him Billy. Or the Kid.
Also known as Billy. The Kid.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Walter Newman, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in tonight's cast were Don Diamond, Parley Bear, Harry Bartell, and Howard McNear, with Richard Beals, Paul Dubov, Georgia Ellis, and Mary Lansing. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke. Those longtime favorites, Amos and Andy, are rising to new heights in their CBS radio series on Sunday nights. Heard on most of these same stations, Amos and Andy find trouble as constantly as ever and make it just as funny and as human as they have for more than 20 years. Be sure to hear Amos and Andy this Sunday, won't you? Right after the Jack Benny Show. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, there's fast, funny quizzing on The Bob Hawk Show every Monday evening. This is the CBS Radio Network.
With JP's Talk About Town, and that was JP's golden age of radio in an episode.
If you put on your headphones, you'd learn that I was, fading you in. And
I know. I heard you say.
Missed the first three words there. Because, the music of Gunsmoke is still playing underneath you. That's why I suggest you wear headphones once in a while. This is a radio show. I'm giving you so much grief.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Put on your headphones.
Good morning, everyone. This is J. Pagluca with JP's Golden Age of Radio, wrapping up an episode of Gunsmoke.
How about we do another one?
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, because you're listening on the TV.
No, I'm listening on the headphones that are on the table next to me.
Oh, well,
they're turned up so loud. Clearly,
that's not my fault that somebody around here is deaf. Just saying.
Hey, in our 7 o'clock hour, we have Kate Phelan from the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce. She's coming in to talk about
the governor.
What's that?
The governor.
No, the governor's not here. Kate Phelan is here.
I know, but she's talking about what the governor did.
Oh.
That's all my graphics I'm typing up right now.
Okay. So Kate Phelan's going to be here from the Westfield Chamber of Commerce, and she'll be talking about businesses, how things are affected, how a lot of things are affected by what's going on. She'll be talking about what the chambers are being communicated to from the governor, and hopefully all things that we should be interested in, interesting things. So
yes.
Thanks, Kate, for getting up early and wandering in to talk to us. We appreciate that.
But in the meantime...
Huh?
In the meantime...
I said that.
Yeah.
How
about more Gunsmoke? Let's go right into it, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, here's another episode of Gunsmoke.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
What do you need? You need lots of dollars during sicknesses. You need lots of dollars for an accident. You need the kind of protection that only Mutual of Omaha sells. What do you need?
You need the health insurance that is ideal for young families because it offers you special savings. The younger you are when you start your Mutual of Omaha hospital, surgical, and income protection plan, the lower the cost.
Here's what you need.
You need young family health insurance. Long-term benefits at low cost by Mutual Benefit Health and Accident Association. Call your local Mutual of Omaha agent in the Yellow Pages or write Mutual of Omaha, Omaha, Nebraska for information on plans available in your state. The long-term, low-cost protection every young family needs is available now. Write for details on this modern, flexible protection that can be tailored to your exact needs. Write Mutual of Omaha, Omaha, Nebraska.
Here, Ben. Some more coffee.
No.
I'll fetch some more meat and potatoes.
No. Have plenty.
I baked a pie.
Yeah, I'll take some with me.
It'd be nice if you could sit here and eat with me just once, Ben.
Well,
And talk like folks do.
got to get the corn in, Emma.
Well, my land ought to have time to eat proper and at least speak to each other a time or two.
Well, Marmon ain't talking. Be in for supper.
Ben, look. Look down the road. There's somebody coming. Ben, didn't you hear me? Somebody's coming. They might be coming to call.
What if they are?
Well, it ain't neighborly for you to just walk out into the field.
Ain't time to be neighborly. I got work to do.
But, Ben, there ain't nobody been here in a month of Sundays.
And we ain't wasted no time, neither. You better not waste none.
All right, Ben, go back to your field. But I ain't going to turn people away, I'll tell you that. Good day to you.
Hello, ma'am.
I do.
You're welcome to come right in.
We're just passing through, ma'am. We wondered if we could trouble you for a little water.
Oh, no trouble at all. But I can do better than that. I've got some fresh baked pie.
Well, we don't need to bother you, ma'am. Just a little water.
Oh, sure. It ain't no bother.
Peach pie go down mighty good, Mr. Dillon.
Why, sure it would. You just leave your horses there and come on in.
Well, all right. Just for a little while, though.
Come on inside.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, you just make yourselves comfortable. I'll fetch the pie.
Oh, we're sure much obliged, ma'am. Oh, my name's Matt Dillon. This is Chester Proudfoot.
Well, I'm that pleased to meet you. I'm Emma Hyde.
Miss Hyde.
Me and Ben been farming this place for 3 years. I got to beg your pardon for Ben.
Oh, how's that?
Well, he don't take no time for meeting up with folks. He's always in the field, sun up to sunset. Here's your pie.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It looks just licking good.
And here's some coffee.
Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you. Now, that must have been your husband we saw as we rode up.
Yes, sir. That's who it was, all right, Mr. Hyde. I tell you the truth. I've near forgot how to talk. It's so long between seeing folks.
It's good you got a husband to talk to, though. You'd be really bad off.
Well, Ben Hyde ain't one for talking. Just sleeping and eating and working. There ain't many words between us.
Now, prairie living is hard work.
It ain't living. It's just getting old and drying up and losing babies. You want some more pie?
No, thank you, ma'am.
Well, now, to tell you the truth, I could have another piece, thank you, kind.
I'm afraid we don't have time, ma'am. We've got to be on our way.
Well, now, there ain't no sense in hurrying off right in the heat of the day. Why don't you just sit here and rest till supper time and go on in the cool?
Well, that's very kind of you, Miss Hyde, but we can't do that.
Oh, you got business?
We're on our way to pick up a prisoner.
Oh, I see.
So we've got to go, Miss Hyde. Thank you again. Come on, Chester.
Will you be coming back this way?
Well, chances are we will in a day or two. Yes, ma'am.
Well, then, you stop in, you hear? Maybe you can stay for a meal.
Well, I don't know, Miss Hyde. You better not count on us.
No, I won't. It's been a long time since I could count on anything.
The following message is brought to you by the American Telephone and Telegraph Company.
So long. Have a nice trip. Don't forget to phone.
When you're away from home this summer, put long distance to work. Most people do. Like this couple.
Smell that mountain air. I'm so glad we telephoned ahead for reservations, George, aren't you?
Sure. Sure, dear.
Oh, George, now you're not worrying about business.
Well,
Why not call the office then? Get it off your mind so you can enjoy yourself.
No doubt about it. Long distance helps you have a carefree vacation. Call now while long distance rates are lowest. Remember, wherever you go this summer, go first by long distance.
Where are we going?
I got the horses, Percy.
You come a long way from me, didn't you, Marshal?
Far enough.
You gonna ride all the way back here with me when you let me go?
Don't you hold your breath.
I ain't just whistling, Marshal. I ain't the man you're looking for.
Sheriff thinks you are.
That sheriff don't know second. I'm nowhere near that bank.
You haven't got him convinced.
I will, though.
Let me ask you something, Percy. You always whimper this much when you're caught?
Only when I'm right. All I gotta do is wait, Marshal. As soon as my brother and his wife get to Dalhart, they'll tell you.
Now, tell me what.
That I was out to their place all that day. 5 miles out of town. Where are these horses, anyway?
Down the street at the livery stable. I didn't know you were going to be in such a hurry to get to Dodge, Percy.
I ain't no hurry about getting nowhere, Marshal. I'm just in a hurry to stop walking.
You ought to get along just fine in jail. You don't walk much there. All right, Chester, you can bring the horses out now.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jones. By jing, I won't be sorry to get shut of this place.
All right, Percy, come on, mount up. We got a long ride to Dodge.
The coffee'll be hot in just a minute. I swear to goodness, Marshal Dillon, I've been afraid to look out my window for fear I'd see you riding right on by.
Well, we wanted to see how you were getting along, ma'am.
Oh, we wouldn't have rode by, Miss Hyde.
Not if Chester had a chance at another piece of your pie.
Well, he sure is welcome to it. And the rest of you, too.
Oh, well, you don't need to give no pie to Bercy, ma'am.
Yeah, now.
We'll take care of feeding him.
Well, I feed any human being that's in my house.
Thank you, ma'am.
I didn't see your husband as we came in today.
Oh, he's over to a neighbor place selling a cow. Here's the coffee.
Oh. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't think you had any neighbors.
Might as well not. Mr. Hyde don't believe in socializing, only work. Stay on the place and work it. Every hour, every day.
It takes a lot to get started.
But we don't need to grub no more, Marshal Dillon. I want to show you something. Look in this box.
My gracious alive, Miss Dillon, it's full of money.
Yeah.
There's plenty there for us to live like folks ought to live. There's even enough to send me back to Philadelphia. Oh, I begged him to send me back to Philadelphia just for a little while. Just so I could have people around me again.
Well, it's a long way off, ma'am.
There ain't a place on earth that's as far off as it is right here, Marshal Dillon. Right here on the prairie. It ain't near to nothing.
What's the matter? You got the shakes, Chester?
No, I ain't. What makes you ask a thing like that?
Well, those dishes aren't jumping around on that tray by themselves, you know.
No. Of course they ain't. I guess I was just too riled up to watch them.
Prisoner causing you trouble?
Well, no, it ain't exactly trouble.
What's the matter, then?
Well, Mr. Dillon, it's like this. A body just ain't got no life of his own when we got somebody in that cell.
No, how's that?
Well, I have to fetch his food and carry it and clean up after him and keep a watch on him. It just don't leave me no free time.
It could be worse, you know.
How do you mean?
If we never had anybody in jail, we'd be out of a job, wouldn't we?
Yes, I reckon you're right. I guess we would.
Matt? Huh. I'm surprised to find you in your office for a change. Chester,
Hello, Doc.
I see I couldn't find you in yours, Doc.
You can, oh, yes. Well, right now I'm running errands for the marshal's office.
Oh, what do you mean?
Matt, I was down at the telegraph office, and this wire came in for you. Here.
Oh, thanks. Well, of all the...
Trouble, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, it sounds like trouble to me, Chester.
What is it, Matt?
Our prisoner, Joe Bercy.
Bercy? Well, what about him?
I gotta let him go.
Let him get... After all the care I've took of him.
Well, he can prove he wasn't in town the day of that holdup.
Well, now, Matt, you wouldn't want to hold an innocent man, would you?
No, Doc, I wouldn't. But with Bercy's record, it won't be long till I'll have to be after him again. All right, Chester, get the keys. And let him out.
It happened at Valley in the blazing desert sun. No others dared to do it, so there could be only one. Just one past the killing grind of sun and wind and sand. The test that proved this new car wax the finest in the land. Turtle wax, turtle wax, turtle wax.
Reader's Digest ad tells the story of amazing Turtle Wax protective power that kept cars' colors shining bright even in fiery Death Valley sun. Just one waxing of Turtle Wax with new Sun Stop gives your car a beautiful hard shell finish guaranteed to last up to 1 full year. It's quick and easy to Turtle Wax your car yourself. Remember, just one waxing of Turtle Wax with Sun Stop lasts up to 1 full year.
Turtle Wax gives a hard shell finish. Turtle Wax gives a hard shell finish. Turtle Wax.
Did you look over that order, Kitty? The whiskey drummer's due in here any time now.
Oh, looks all right to me, Sam. Ought to hold us through a few more cattle drives. If you think it's good whiskey.
It's plenty good enough for them fellows to get liquored up on. Tell the truth, Kitty. We don't get much call for anything real good.
Sometimes I wonder if those wild trail hands would behave any better if they were drinking the expensive stuff.
I doubt it.
Hello, Kitty. Sam.
Oh, Matt. Want a drink?
No, thanks, Kitty. I was on my way to Delmonico's to eat. I thought maybe you might want to go with me.
Well, that's as good an offer as I've had.
All right, let's go then.
All right. I'll be back in a little while, Sam.
Sure.
You'd better be careful, Matt.
What do you mean?
I'll be getting used to having you around. This is the 4th day in a row. Law business must be awful slow.
Yeah, Kitty, it has been lately. You know, it's making Chester nervous. No prisoners.
You mean he misses him?
He's had that cell all shined up waiting for somebody all week. He's afraid we're going to go out of business. He must have known we were going to eat. Yeah, what is it, Chester?
Mr. Dillon, you know that Hyde place where we stopped at?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, Ben Hyde's been shot.
He has. Well, is he hurt bad?
I don't know. The fellow who rode in just said he was shot.
Get dark, Chester. We'll go out there, huh?
Yes, I will.
Oh, Kitty, I'm sorry about the meal.
That's all right, Matt. To tell the truth, after 4 days, I was getting kind of tired of you.
Well, much too late, Matt. He's been dead for a couple of days at least.
I knowed he was dead.
I'm sorry, Miss Hyde.
Everything dies out here.
Oh, well, would you like me to mix your powder, Mrs. Hyde? To kind of help your nerves, maybe?
I ain't got no nerves. They died, too.
Miss Hyde, do you have any idea who might have done it?
Ben's dead. It's over.
Yeah. But if you saw anything...
Ben's dead. Gone.
Miss Hyde, do you still have that box? The one with the money in it?
It isn't there.
The box?
Money isn't there.
Yeah. Won't do much good to question you now, Matt. Even if she did see anything, she's not likely to remember. The shock has her days.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Doc. Will she come out of it?
Oh, yes. I expect she'll be all right.
The money isn't there.
Yeah. That sure cinches it, don't it, Mr. Dillon?
You're talking about Joe Bercy?
Well, he was here with it and seen the money, wasn't he? He was let out of jail just in time to get out here, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he could be halfway to Texas by now, ain't that right?
Yeah, it could be right.
I declare, Mr. Dillon, I sure am sorry you let that fella go.
Yeah, Chester, so am I.
Service manager. Tell you about Guardian Maintenance? Well, sure, I'll be glad to. Guardian Maintenance is a kind of specialized service your General Motors car gets at a GM dealers like ours. Yeah. Now, it makes good sense, doesn't it, that our mechanics know your GM car best? You see, they specialize in one make of car. And what's more, they've got the right tools and factory-approved parts, too. Yes, sir. That holds true for every Chevy, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, and GMC truck. It's the best kind of service for the best kind of cars. And all GM dealers are offering performance service specials right now. Includes engine tune-up, tire rotation, a front-end adjustment, a wheel check, and a complete, and I mean complete, lubrication. Makes for a worry-free vacation, I'll tell you. Huh? Good. We'll be looking for you. Bye.
Improved K-Site tune-up. The tune-up in a can.
Fill it up, sir?
Yeah, regular's good.
Say, that engine of yours sounds like real tired iron.
Thanks. Improved K-Site tune-up. The tune-up in a can.
You got a valve sticking, too. Oh, what do you get to a gallon?
Not much.
Improved case-side tune-up. The tune-up in a can.
Want a tune job? Haven't got time. You don't need time. How can a tune job not take time? Improved case-side tune-up, mister. 1 can in your gasoline and 1 can in your oil will clean your motor, your carburetor, your plugs. The works. And case-side tune-up will unstick those valves. Get you more power and smoother performance. Quicker starting, too. Okay, but how much? $1.25 a can. Results guaranteed or double your money back. Would you start her up, please? Still sounds lousy. I haven't added it yet.
Improved case-side tune-up. The tune-up in a can.
Mr. Dillon sent that telegraph you wrote out telling peace officers around the country to be on the lookout for Joe Bercy.
Oh, well, thanks, Chester.
Sure do wish I had him back in that cell again. And I bet I wouldn't feed him so good this time. I declare I sure do wish you wouldn't have let him go, Mr. Dillon. Then there wasn't nothing else to do, was there? No. Sure does seem a shame, though, after seeing what all's happened. If we only kept him... Yes, sir?
I don't want to hear any more about it.
Yes, sir. Well, anyway, it sure is nice that Miss Hyde's doing so fine, ain't it?
Oh, who told you that?
I just seen Miss Kitty. She told me all about it.
How does Kitty know?
Well, she heard about it from that dressmaking lady, Miss Cunningham. You know how old ladies talk.
All right, Chester. What did Kitty tell you?
Well, Miss Hyde's going back to Philadelphia.
Oh. Well, that's what she's always wanted, I guess. When's she going?
Next week sometime. She's going to wait till her clothes is done, Mr. Dillon. Miss Kitty says she ordered enough new dresses to keep that sewing lady busy night and day.
Chester, where's Miss Hyde stopping?
Or at the Dodge House.
I guess I'll go see her.
Well, say now, that's right thought of you, Mr. Dillon.
Well, I hope she thinks so, Chester.
Hello, Marshal Dillon.
Mr. Dobie, is there a Miss Hyde staying here? Emma Hyde?
Certainly is. She's got her best room, Marshal. That one right at the top of the stairs.
Oh, is she in now?
Yes, she is. She just come in from the dressmaker.
Good, thank you.
Marshal, you want me to ask Miss Hyde to come down to the parlor?
No, thanks, Dobie. I'll go up.
If you think it's right.
Yeah, I think it's right. Miss Hyde? Miss Hyde?
Well, hello, Marshal Dillon. Why, it's right nice of you to come to call.
May I come in?
Why, sure, you come right on in.
Thank you.
Sit down, Marshal. Just sit down. If you can find a place. I got so much stuff lying around.
Oh, this is fine, right here. Chester tells me that you're going back to Philadelphia.
It's a fact, Marshal. After all these years, I'm going home. I just can't hardly believe it.
I understand you'll be here for a few days, though.
Yes, Marshal, I'm getting myself turned out nice. Real nice. I don't want no one to know I was wearing my last dress when Ben Hyde was took.
I should think most ladies would rather buy their clothes in Philadelphia, though.
Oh, I'll buy some there, too, Marshal. I've been waiting a long time for this. I'll buy me lots more. But I ain't going back with no empty trunk, neither.
Yeah. Did you sell the farm?
I just walked away from it. I don't want nothing more out of it. It can go right back to weeds and prairie dogs and coyotes. That's all it's fit for.
Yeah, but your husband put a lot of his life into that place, ma'am.
Of my life, too. I don't even want to think of it again.
I was wondering about the money.
The money?
Yeah, it seems like you'd need the money from the place to pay for all these things. And this room, and the train fare.
Well, now...
And they told me
Marshal,
around town that you've been paying straight cash.
Well, I had a bit put by.
In the black box, Miss Hyde?
I didn't bring that old box, Marshal.
The money that was in it, though, did you bring that?
Well, Joe Bursey must have took the money. Everybody said so.
Yeah, that's what they said, and you let them say it, didn't you?
Marshal,
Bursey didn't come back, did he?
I never said I saw
You know he didn't take the money, Miss Hyde. You also know that he didn't kill your husband.
Marshal, please.
You know who did kill him, though?
Yes, Marshal. I know.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
It didn't hurt him none. I didn't want to hurt him none. I'm a good shot, Marshal.
Yeah, I saw him.
It was just a quicker killing. That's all it was.
A quicker killing?
A prairie. That was killing the both of us. Eating away at us, a bit at a time, every day taking its toll. Ben's free of it now.
Yeah. It's just too bad that you can't be free, too.
Produced and directed in Hollywood by Norman Macdonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. The story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Marion Clark, with editorial supervision by John Meston. Welcome to WRNL, Richmond, Virginia, KOSY, Texarkana, Texas, KELD, El Dorado, Arkansas, and WGPA, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, who recently joined the CBS radio network. We're happy to have you with us. This is George Walsh inviting you to join us again next week when CBS Radio presents another story on Gunsmoke.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
I did
it! Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And this is JPEG Luca with JP's Talk About Town. Thanks for joining us this morning. In just a little while, we'll be visiting with Kate Phelan of the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to welcome Kate into the studio as we practice our own social distancing. And she'll be in very shortly here, just working on
Had to connect her up
things.
to the old Wi-Fi is what I had to do.
Did you now?
Yes.
Lots
She's got notes.
The latest information is coming in, and again, we're going to talk a little bit about business right here in Greater Westfield, and as well as things that are happening in the state at a state level. What's happening from the governor on down?
Changing daily.
Yeah, it is, and that's something that, as we talked earlier, you want to find out the latest information, how it can affect your life and maybe help you out. Check out the state websites. What's Pete? Do you know offhand what the official site is?
Mass.gov. It probably has it right on the front page. They're probably not even messing around with it.
Oh, great.
So mass.gov. I know at the top of the City of Westfield page, there's a link you can click on with all the COVID-19 stuff as to what the city's doing. So everybody's kind of working together. They're trying to get as much good information. Yeah, she's got a big old file there. I see it.
we all do. And I've got
Who knew? Who knew this was going to happen, right?
Kate, welcome to the welcome to our program.
Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning.
And happy Friday.
Yeah. As happy as it can be.
Well, we got to stay positive.
Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of businesses are all kind of making the best.
It's a tough situation.
We're making it through. I mean, I just had to get a call from a friend of mine that got laid off from their job. And it's, businesses are trying to do the same, the best they can, and in most cases, it's how can we survive and make it out of the other side.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on the show as a voice of the business community, particularly my members. This is a very, very trying time, and because my membership is such a diverse, eclectic group, from the sole proprietor all the way up to large companies as like Mestech, who is in 10 states and they're global. So this is a very, very challenging time. And I don't know how long I have today with you, but
well, you have till 8 o'clock.
Okay, good. So, that's it. Okay.
And we can run no underrated breaks. We'll just keep going. Just go ahead.
All right, because I have, I want to hopefully get some important messages out there. So thank you for having me.
No, great. Let's take a moment. A lot of people don't know what the Chamber is, what they do here in town, how valuable you folks are to the business community.
Thank you.
How about a quick overview? What do you do?
Yeah, thank you for that. So the Chamber is a business membership organization, and there's others. There's the RAM, Retailers Association of Massachusetts. There's AIM. So we represent businesses that join the Chamber. We're their voice. We do offer some services for them. We help to market and promote them. In a time like this, when I'm getting out information, it's going just to my members. So I'm keeping them informed. But I'll have to tell you, it's a challenge because we're getting information daily. And I just wanted to, I'd like to just kind of switch gears a little bit because I want Westfield, whoever's listening, for the business community, the chambers of commerce across the Commonwealth, we are on weekly, sometimes bi-weekly conference calls, and it was initiated by MEMA, Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency.
Yes.
Thank you. And on these calls, Lieutenant Governor Polito is on the calls. Secretary Keneally, who is the Secretary of the Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development. This week we have 2 calls. We already had one this week, and I have our regularly scheduled call is Fridays at 1 o'clock. So I have one today at 1 o'clock. And Secretary Acosta has been on them. Some undersecretaries have been on the calls as well. So they're updating us with unemployment information, assistance for small businesses. So we're getting this information firsthand from state level government, from our state government. So I'm trying to get this information out as best I can to our business members. So they're getting these emails. They will be informed. So there's a value, in an emergency situation or crisis situation, we can contact our members immediately. So yesterday I was also on a Zoom conference call with our state trade association, which is the Massachusetts Association of Executive, MACC, Chamber
All those
of
acronyms.
I know, Massachusetts Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives. So we had about 14 of us on the call, and we were all, sharing our challenges and how we're helping our local businesses, which is our members. So I have a lot of information. If we want to get into the weeds, we can. If we don't want,
I have some really cool graphics I made up with all that email you sent me.
Thank you. So I'd like to put that up if we can. And there's some additional information as well since I sent that to you, Pete. So, Jay, I don't want to, take you away from your show, but I think...
First of all, this is, for the next half hour, this is your show. I want you to feel like this is, imagine this is yours. This is information our, not only the business community needs, but also just the general person that would patronize those businesses as well.
Yeah, so I'm very, very concerned for the very small businesses.
Agreed, yeah.
And
so that leads right into the first graphic. This one, let's see.
And I know there's going to be an awful lot of information, but if we can help 1 or 2 or 20 or 30 with this information, then I feel like I'm doing my job.
Absolutely.
I also want to put out there for whoever's listening, whether you're a member of the chamber or not, please feel free to call the office, because I want to keep in touch with everyone. It's hard. I have 250 members. It's hard for me to call 250 people, but I'm there for them. I'm there for the business community. And the chamber office number is 568-1618. Really easy to remember, 568-1618. And this is impacting the chamber. I had to lay off my marketing specialist. So we're all being affected by this. So I'm worried about 250 businesses plus running my own small nonprofit company. So
right, because your fundraisers got canceled.
Yes, yeah. So we're taking a hit too, but that's not why I'm here. So, but I'm very, very concerned for the restaurants that are members, all the restaurants, don't get me wrong, but I do represent my members.
Well, we talked about that earlier. So many restaurants, restaurant is a small margin to begin with.
I know, right, right.
In a lot of
the
restaurants,
return on their investment,
that's supplemented by the bar business.
Yes.
Well, the bar business is closed.
Right.
So, the wait staff have been let go, and usually you've just got a small kitchen staff left that's making takeout. If they had takeout before, you can probably count on them still having that. Right. And our ask earlier was, please get out there and patronize at least that.
But it's funny. I was checking my Facebook page the other day because Deb, I had to lay Deb off, and she normally handles our Facebook pages, our social media. And someone blasted me for telling people to go out and shop, and I'm like, you know what? That's okay. People are entitled to their opinions, but I'm still going to encourage everyone, if you're healthy and you follow the guidelines, please order takeout when you can. Not, for those of us who have some disposable income, whether it's lunch, dinner, and I'm not saying every day, but do what you can do. Do what you can do. And also, buy those gift cards and or gift certificates. It will help. I know it sounds maybe small.
Sounds like a small part, but if you get 100 people that buy a $50 gift card, that's huge.
Right. So I was talking to my colleagues, the other chamber executives, on our conference call yesterday. I said, it needs to start from us, the leaders. And I said, I'm going to commit myself to at least lunch takeout at least once a week and dinner once a week. And I will patronize my chamber members first and to support them. And so I'm going to get lunch. I'm going to get takeout today for lunch. And then I'm going to try to do this a minimal of once a week. I'll do what I can do to help our businesses.
If everybody does that,
if everybody did that,
Well, most people go out at least once a week for dinner or lunch or something like that. So continue that practice if you can.
Right.
I know like even one of our hosts, Ken Stomsky, got laid off.
Yes, I saw that somewhere. I think on Facebook.
Two-person business, just him and the owner. Well, the owner's got to
Right.
keep the doors open and the lights on, and so now he's going to get laid off. For a short period of time.
If I can just interject about companies laying off their employees, especially the small businesses. So I wasn't aware of this program. This is the type of information we're getting from the state government.
Yeah, this is real time.
This is real time information because I actually looked into this program for my agency. So Massachusetts has had what's called a work share program for about 50 years. And I found it very interesting, and I had to educate myself about this as well because I was hoping to implement it, but I can't. I don't meet the criteria. So how it works, and I'm going to give you the real basics because I'm not an expert. I'm not an HR aficionado. But if you lay off your employees, and
Is this graphic about the work share?
Yes. I don't know if I gave you a work share graphic.
Yes,
there
you
it is.
did. There you go.
Okay. So employers, if you don't have a small business, if you don't have a work share plan, you need to develop one. And here's some of the criteria that I found out. So how it basically works is let's say you reduce hours for your staff. Let's say someone's working, I don't know, we'll go with 40 hours. Let's say let's go with a 35-hour employee, okay? And you cut their hours by 15 hours. So those 10 hours, 20 hours, they would be paid by the employer. Those 15 hours that you laid off, you reduced their hours by, they can use unemployment insurance. So you supplement their total hours between wages and unemployment.
So you don't have to let them go for
Correct.
just
completely.
That's it.
Correct.
So only a small amount.
Correct.
You can cut their hours in half, for
Yes.
instance,
Yes.
and then supplement the rest.
But here's the criteria and this is where I did not fit. So this group can be your entire company, a facility, a department, a shift, job function, or another definable unit with at least 2 employees. So that's where I did not meet the criteria. So you have to have at least 2 employees eligible for the plan.
Because you'd split the time.
Well,
basically make 2 full-time employees, 1 full-time employee, but you split the hours.
But yeah, so the minimum to do the plan for a small business is you have to have 2 people in the plan. So if you reduce 2 people, minimum of 2 employees' hours, you can do a work share program.
But you didn't have 2 employees.
I didn't. So I laid off one completely. So she's collecting full unemployment.
Right.
And then my other staff, I wanted to reduce her hours. And I was going to hopefully supplement those hours with this plan, but I don't qualify. But I thought this was and I did not know about this work share plan. And I think it's important for these small businesses, like, for example, like the tavern, if they reduce their employees or shortstop, they can do this plan. Work share.
And how can folks find out more about it?
So this is on the, of course, the state's website. It's on mass.gov. I don't think I have.
If the link is from mass.gov,
well, here it is. So
it's
www.
Oops, wrong graphic.
That's all right, Pete. .mass.gov / That's a backslash, not for. No,
yeah, backslash.
Why? That's a backslash.
//
That's a //
Yes.
// It's DUA / workshare. And there's on the web, on that link, there's a place to go for employers because I actually downloaded the developing a work share plan.
The link that's up on the screen at the bottom, mass.gov service details work share information for employers.
Oh, there you go. So
and that's hard.
up on the screen right now.
I know
and obviously not everybody is watching.
Yeah, you can Google that too. I think if you look work share for employers.
Yeah, I had trouble finding it though. To be honest with you, Pete. So I had one of my law firms send me the link because it was really helpful. Because again, these small businesses don't have HR departments, and I don't either. So I was, I'm scrambling too to find information, and then I'm also feeling that I need to get this out to my members. So I'm going to be getting some of this out again. I'm going to wait until after our 1:00 conference call again with the state. And then probably on Monday, I'll be sending out some more because it changes. It's constantly changing.
And as you mentioned, most small businesses don't have an HR department.
No.
The owner is kind of a one-stop shop.
It is.
He's a jack of all trades,
Right.
has to do all of these things. And often you only have so many hours in the day and you can't do it all.
Exactly.
And obviously the chamber can support them with information. And I think that, what's the chamber's website?
So the website is www.westfieldbiz.org. I will be trying to put up information on the website. Again, I laid off Deb, so I have to. I used to do it, but
remember how to do it.
But you know how it goes. Use it or lose it.
Yeah.
So I'm in that kind of a little bit of a mindset
Gotta
right now.
relearn.
But it'll come back to me, and I know our web supporter Bob Birch for Bright Cloud. I know he'll help me a little bit if I need it. So
Can we put up the hotline number? Is that kind of a clearinghouse for what's going on with it?
what hotline number is that, Pete?
The one for the private sector hotline number? This one right here, if you read on the screen.
Hotline. So MEMA, yeah. And I just got an email from. So we're getting these emails from MEMA, and of course they're calling it COVID-19 Response Command Center Situation Report. So I get that's why I wanted to tie into the Wi-Fi piece because I'm constantly getting updates.
That's
so,
fine.
And I just also want to talk a little bit about, the governor as of right now is still, we're under that 25 limitation. Gatherings of 25 people or more are prohibited. And I'm hearing, other communities are doing different things. So I think we just need to be mindful of your community's rules and regulations or whatever they're putting out for to comply with the guidelines. And if we can do things remotely, we should. And
use common sense.
Common sense.
I mean,
So the specifics
Like
of the
we're not
order are on
6
the
feet
screen
apart.
right now. So
Yeah.
Well, we're not 6 feet apart.
But you're
and on
also
the
not
other hand-
sneezing or coughing.
Right.
No, and that's why I want to be a little bit more positive about if you're healthy, and you want to stay healthy,
Stay
of
that
course,
way,
of
yeah.
course, stay that way. And if you want to do all of the recommendations of the CDC, that's fine. But I was listening to NPR on the way in this morning, and there's some discussion now that with this social distancing impacting our communities, there's going to be a different outcome with other issues. They're feeling with all this isolation, it's going to have some really
Will that have
detrimental
mental health
Yes,
implications?
Yeah. So
Absolutely, it will.
Yeah, and they're actually very worried about that. I mean, this was some serious discussions, and and I think that's why when I say go out and do what you can do, please do, because
do it safely.
Do it safely.
In what I do with
The biggest thing is if you're sick, stay home.
Yeah.
Bottom line. If
Well,
you're sick,
we
stay
should
home.
have been doing this all along, even with the flu epidemics and
in the things that I do with music in that industry,
Yes.
we're just always close. We're always friendly. I see people that I haven't seen in years, and we're putting together a show. We walk into the room. First thing we do is run up and hug each other.
Right. Me
Now-
too. I'm a hugger. Yeah.
So what happens the last time around, the very last concert we put on, we all go up, hey, how you doing? And we're on the way, and then realize, elbows, fist pump.
right.
Yeah, fist pump. It's that's going to be the second nature that comes out of this whole thing. Is now that's going to go away,
Right.
whether for good or bad. And I mean, it's wearing on those of us that are home, that are working from home, and just the constant information that's coming in.
Right.
I mean, I was feeling
Can't get away from it.
I was feeling tired
Yeah.
the other day. I sat down, and I start my day at 3 a.m. Well, here I am at 6 or 7 at night, realizing I'm just just totally
Wiped out.
burned out.
Yeah.
And I never left the house. How can that be? And it's communication from from the top down in corporate that I need to get out to my guys.
Yes.
I'm fielding calls from them. What do I do about this or that? I'm concerned about this. Yeah, the weight is on your shoulders
It
for
is.
anyone in a leadership or management role.
It is.
It is.
And if I can just go back to unemployment for 1 second, too, because I know they're changing the rules on unemployment. And the latest is that they're not requiring job search, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And we already, or you may or may not know, too, they're waiving that 1 week wait period. Of course, they're inundated with claims, so I don't know if they're going to maintain that.
Yeah.
But I did find out the other day that there's no longer the requirement to do job search. So I think that's important information also to get out for the people that are applying or on unemployment. If you don't know that, you don't have to do that. I think you have to look for so many jobs in a week. I think that was the rule or whatever.
It's been so long.
Yeah, I know.
I hate to say.
So, but that's important information as well. And then I'm so proud of our city for what the Boys and Girls Club is doing for the grab and go meals. I also want
the school department as well.
And the school department. And I also want to put out there, if businesses, especially my chamber members, if you're changing your operations, let me know, because I was thinking of putting that information out. The chamber execs discussed this the other day, and some of them are doing that across the state. They're asking their members to, give us your changes of operation, and then we can maybe put it on our website.
A lot of people are changing the hours.
Yeah, they're changing the hours.
What's being provided to the public? How am I changing my business to accommodate what's happening?
Right. And I really, really mean this. If you need help with navigating the assistance that's out there, whether it's the SBA loans, there's another program too. I know there's some grants out there as well. Call the office, because again, I'm getting so much information. It's hard for me to just give you, it would be overwhelming if we just do this.
And do research. Yeah, do research.
Here's the SBA information that you gave me.
So there's the SBA.
Yeah, and this is stuff that, obviously, unless you're on Channel 15, you're not going to see this. Small Business Administration's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And, of course, it's an acronym, EIDL. And you can go out to the SBA.gov and start searching from there. Yeah, obviously you don't want to read the whole line. That's
the whole link, but
SBA.gov will start you in the right path.
Usually on a website, there's a little search box that you can type in. I bet you if you type in COVID-19 in the search box, you'll get all the response plan for that, and you might find a program that we don't even know about yet, or that could be coming out in this latest stimulus bill. There's going to be programs in this latest economic stimulus bill that we don't even know about yet, that haven't quite hit the page yet. But this economic stimulus bill that the Senate is trying to push through is $1 trillion, is what they said. So it's going to be huge.
And we talk about, and it even hits my business where it's outside of the real job. I do lighting and sound and produce events. Well, people in my neck of the woods, we're all pretty close. There's not that many of us, so we all talk and we all keep in touch. And all of the concerts that have been canceled, and the events that have been canceled, I mean, people are losing money, and that trickles down to the rest of the business. Yeah. So think about that. A small business, and I use a friend of mine in West Springfield. He's probably in the last couple of weeks been canceled concerts that are in the tens of thousands of dollars. Well, that's going to move into, that's tens of thousands of dollars he would have invested in his business. He was planning on that. So now he's not going to buy gear that he planned to buy, and it just goes on and on and on.
It does.
A friend of mine that was doing work for me, was part of the concert series that we're doing.
Right.
He lost a lot of events. Well, he's not going to buy that motorcycle he was planning to buy this spring. It's right down to a small microcosm.
So,
That's what we're going to have.
To that point as well, I'm hearing from some of the banks. So check the bank that you do business with. Some of them are giving out grants. Now, grants, as you know, do not have to be paid back. So
I'll take 2, please.
I know, right? So you should check out your bank foundation information. I know Berkshire Bank is helping their customers with grants, and I think that's important information. I will be putting that, as soon as I'm able to, I will get some of this information on our website. I can't speak to the other banks, but it's a good. I think they should check. Any bank customer with whoever you do your commercial banking with, you should find out if they're doing the same types of programs, because grant money is great, and how nice of them to be offering this. I think Berkshire Bank was $500,000 in grants, so it's a lot of money.
And every little bit is going to help.
Absolutely.
As we move through
There's
this.
another. I just want to get this out too, because it wasn't on the graphic I sent you, Pete. So there's another. It's through Mass Capital Growth Corporation. So it's for businesses of 50 people or less. There's a program initiated by the Mass Growth Capital Corporation. Interested parties can find this at www.massgcc.com. massgcc.com. So this was not on the graphic I sent you. This is what I actually sent. I mean, look at all this information, Jay. It just goes on and on and on about all the resources that are out there. But I'm just, it's interesting to see how everyone's really stepping up to the plate.
Everyone wants to help each other.
They do.
And I hate to hark back to one of probably the last event in the U.S. that comes close to this kind of everybody's involved was 9/11.
9/11.
That changed the world. It changed the way we run our day-to-day lives. This is going to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I mentioned that in the article I did. That brought a lot of fear into people.
It did.
And rightfully so. I mean, I was a little nervous. I wasn't going to, at first I wasn't going to travel anywhere. And, we kind of stopped living, if you remember.
We did, yeah.
But I think we learned from that. We can't stop living. I think we need to obviously follow all the guidelines based on your own personal situation.
Use
common sense. And I don't want to live in fear anymore. I don't want to. I'm a very social person, so this is hard for me too. We're all going through this, and so I think it's going to pass.
Use your sense of humor.
Yeah,
that's sometimes the hardest thing to do in a bad situation.
Wow,
Use your sense of humor.
think whoever is still open, have a $19 sale. Everything's $19.
1995.
There you go.
1995.
Well, you
don't forget mail before midnight tonight.
But you get my humor with a 19. So,
yeah.
But and I love what they were doing in Italy, singing out the windows. I love the guy in Boston who did Sweet Caroline.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And I also found out with talking with our chamber executives yesterday that we can do virtual group meetings, or so I'm going to try to network. I'm going to try to put this in place and see if we can all get together virtually through. I have Office 365, and I guess it's Teamworks. I forget.
Oh, there's a whole lot of different conference calls.
All kinds of different.
Not only conference call, but you can put it on your computer and share graphics and share your screen. You can even put where you can put your face in the corner of the screen, which I don't do on mine. I don't want to scare the rest of the call.
I'm with you. I don't, whatever. Yeah.
And it's always early in the morning. You don't want to see this.
So I don't know if you've heard. I'm sure you have, but our next round of concern is going to be for all the hair salons and barbers. Did you hear this?
East Hampton closed all of them.
Yeah, and Springfield is, I think, recommending, but I'm hoping we don't go there in Westfield, but I'm assuming it's up to the mayor.
At some point you may have to, though, because of transmission, the way the virus is transmitted.
But, again,
I don't know if we're there yet.
Again, if maybe they can limit the number of folks in their shops. I mean, they're saying even if you go by the 10-person rule or the 25-person rule with Governor Baker's guidelines, I think if we follow those guidelines, we're okay.
Maybe that's a good place to set up testing facilities.
You know?
You got to get tested before you go in to get your hair cut.
You know?
Well, a good rule of thumb is have those little handy infrared thermometers that you use for your kids.
Yeah.
If somebody has a fever, you
don't go.
You
Don't
can't.
go.
Don't go out.
You know.
So now
we're all
there's
gonna-
going to be a run on those, Pete. I can't get thermometers and toilet paper.
Right.
I have one in my pocket.
And we're all going to have long hair, like big hair, like the 80s. Was that the 80s?
No, 70s.
70s,
we
big
all
hair.
had long hair.
Big hair.
Big hair was the 80s, but
80s,
the 70s
right.
was guys with long hair down below their
we go.
shoulders, right?
There we go. So,
Yeah, that's going to be me in a few weeks.
and I actually have a haircut schedule. I'm like, okay.
I did too. I was planning to go this week.
Mine's next week.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I'm going to see anybody, so let it go.
Right.
I just have a wall shaver at home. I'm kind of bummed because St. Baldrick's was supposed to be in 2 weeks, and that got
can't do
canceled.
that,
So that's
yeah.
canceled. So now I've been letting my hair grow out for a reason. I can't get it colored because
you color your hair?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a whole. There's a
Every
whole
year
story
I
here.
auction
Yeah.
off my highest bidder a week before.
I remember that.
My highest bidder gets to color
Yeah.
my hair. So
I think it's been orange or purple or whatever.
I was I
you were
was the
thinking
heat
he
miser one
colors
year.
his hair like this.
Yes, I
oh
thought
no,
he
no,
colored
no,
his
no.
hair on a regular
No.
So-
I'm going gray on purpose.
So, Jay, what's the status of Gaslight Entertainment?
We just announced we had April and May concerts, late April and early May, and we had to cancel them. It's because of really the uncertainty.
Of course,
people are afraid
Yep.
to do that, and we called our bands, and they says we certainly understand.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is they're going to be the first people we talk to as we look into
Nice.
our fall schedule.
Awesome.
So the bands that you saw on our website, I would like to say they're postponed, not
Good.
canceled.
Good.
So we're probably going to we're going to fire up in the fall, and I think as we look towards that lineup, we're going to space things out a little more.
Good.
Not the social distancing reason.
No, but
so that people can go and see a show once a month.
I know they're
a
great.
Great show once a month.
They're awesome.
And I appreciate it. Love seeing you there.
Oh, I've been to 3 already.
Yeah.
They're awesome, and congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
think it's wonderful for our community, for Western Mass, really.
Yeah, we're going to change
people are coming
that
from
up.
all over. They're not just,
And the last one we did, we had people in from the Cape.
Awesome.
And I got calls from them that day. You still doing the show? And they said,
Good.
absolutely.
Good.
And at the time, there were some people that didn't come out. We understand that.
Of course.
But what so we're going to take care of the folks that have tickets. And
Okay.
so
I can,
go
whatever.
to the website
It's all
and
good.
take a look.
Yep.
Yeah.
So our chamber events, we have canceled everything, obviously, in March. And in April, we did cancel our After 5 connection. It was up at the Hampton, and we're going to hopefully reschedule that. And now I have to work on, I'm going to reschedule our legislative luncheon, which was April 24th. And unfortunately, as well, we also thought it was in our best interest. I talked to Stefan Zabrowski, the superintendent of schools. We had to cancel the Westfield High School Career Fair. But it will be taking place next year, and I do want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Westfield Electroplating, the Sapinski family. They sponsored the vendor tables for us, and they said just hang on to it, do it next year. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, because that takes off a lot of a little less stress for us trying to get those sponsorships.
That's not an easy thing to do either.
No,
and it's going to be harder
Yeah,
now, and I
it is.
understand that. Westfield on weekends, of course, has their summer concert
Right.
series. Artworks has
Yes.
a smaller concert series. We're still going forward
Good.
with plans on those.
Good.
I actually have a Brimfield Blues concert at the end of May, May
Ooh,
30th.
where's that going to be?
Out at the Brimfield Winery, right along.
Oh,
Route
Brimfield.
20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's all along where the where the flea market
flea
is.
market, okay.
Yeah, on the east end of that strip is
Nice.
a big red barn. It's a winery.
Awesome.
And out in that field behind there, we're going to do a blues concert. James Montgomery will be there. He's
Ooh.
the headliner. That's May 30th, and into June. We're going to putting the first concert on the green will be at the end of June.
End of June?
June 26th, I think, is
You
the
have the
last
date?
Thursday of June. And I'm just about to sign with a band that is They're out of the Worcester area, and
Nice.
they play 70s, 80s.
Nice.
music.
See,
So-
that's my genre. I
Yeah.
love that.
As
period
it
of
is
time.
mine.
Yep.
And then we're only doing 2 big ones on the green this year, and the August show will be a tribute band, August 20th. That's the third Thursday, and again that one we'll announce that in another week or two, and once we have all the contracts signed and stuff. So.
I'm glad to hear that because I heard that they were not going to happen this year. So
They are.
I'm
as
so
well
glad.
As Probin,
Yeah, he's
Mina's.
doing
We're doing
his
the
Friday.
yeah,
Good.
And I'm going to work with
Good.
him this year as many as I can,
Awesome.
bringing PA in to help out.
Oh, that's wonderful. And he gets so excited about doing that because he's really passionate about bringing people downtown.
Yeah.
And kudos to him. You mentioned that big red barn at the end of that strip of Brimfield.
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of the band.
Oh yeah.
Remember when they? Oh, I think they played in
The Last Waltz.
Yes. Wasn't that a great movie?
Yeah, and people
One of my
don't
favorites.
know- people don't know what that was. It was one of the first concert movies. If you,
Oh, I know, right?
People didn't know what it was.
No,
so they
no.
never. If you knew the band, well, which band? Yeah,
The
band. Yeah,
yeah. Robbie Morris. Is it Robbie Morrison?
Man, it was such an eclectic.
It was. The musicians that he brought on stage.
There was Woodstock. And then
Yes.
there was The Last Waltz.
Right.
Yeah, and nobody put the two together, but they were the same type of.
But I love hearing them when they talked about when they were just in that barn, if you will, right? And they would just be rehearsing or jamming with these, and folks would just drop in, and I just think that. Can you imagine that lifestyle? Pretty
It's
cool.
kind of. Have you ever seen Daryl's house on television?
No, I don't know
You
what that
remember
is.
Hall and Oates?
Oh yeah.
Daryl Hall and John
Yeah,
Oates.
yeah, absolutely.
Daryl ended up buying a farm out in eastern Connecticut
Okay.
or western Connecticut,
Yep.
out in the hills, and he had a big barn on the place. Well, he turned that barn into his little jam house, a little studio and
Yep.
stuff. Put PA in it, and then he would invite friends over. Hey,
Nice.
let's talk. Let's have dinner. Let's
Yeah,
play a few tunes. And then it was like, well, let's put a few cameras in here, and he sold
Webcast
that.
it, yeah.
Right, he
Yeah,
did.
and he started doing a webcast, and I can't remember which network picked it up, but it's like
Probably
Access
Netflix,
TV or
yeah.
something
Oh,
picked
okay.
that up, and that started to take off. And then he ended up buying a little club just over the line in Pawling, New York,
Wow.
called Daryl's House.
Daryl's
and
House.
now
Who
that's
knew?
where and it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
And, well, of course it's closed right now.
Of course.
But they will pick up again. And I've been down there, and
Oh.
that's where I've got a lot of. Where I've got a lot of the acts that I ran is through an
Yeah.
agent that
Oh,
works
nice,
with.
Jay.
with
Well, you're
Daryl's
connected,
house.
huh?
Well, it's
You are
it's like 6 degrees of separation. One of those
I know.
things, yeah.
6 degrees and 6 feet.
yeah.
It all comes together.
Well, yeah, when I opened the show, it was
Yeah, I
hello Westfield.
Have you ever seen the movie Pirate Radio?
Yes, on the boat where they're all on the boat. Yeah,
That's another one of my favorite movies. It's hilarious.
yeah, and I thought it was something different. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. I don't know if you know my history in early radio in the 70s.
Not really, but
since the statute of limitations is passed, and and I don't make my living on the radio, we had bootleg radio station in Rockville, Connecticut.
Did you?
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch
Yeah.
of stories we can talk about off
Oh,
the air.
that's
But
hilarious.
it was every Saturday we would go down to my buddy of mine's in his basement. We had a studio set up, and we would be down there 3 or 4 days a week recording
recording.
everything that we would air every Saturday night. We'd put together a 3-hour show on
Wow.
tape that we would. Well, we also they
3
tell me
hours.
put away a lot of beer.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we,
of course.
we would drink beer and put the show together,
Yep.
and then on Saturday we'd drink beer and listen to
To
what we
it.
put together, and we go, "Wow, we did that.
We did good.
And this is I don't
Well,
I don't want to
hey.
say we did good, but
Well.
oh, we had so much fun doing that.
Well, with everybody, sort of isolated in their homes, I think it's a good idea to share your favorite movies because I'm telling you, there's some good movies.
And you can binge watch for
Oh my Lord,
Yeah.
right? But Pirate Radio and Bohemian Rhapsody and The Last Waltz.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now's
Great,
the time
great
to go
movies.
back and I'd say bring your friends over, but no. But you can put your
binge
phone,
watch on your own.
Yep.
Binge watch on your own.
Yep.
Open up your phones and then talk to your friends
And-
while y'all
yeah,
are
right.
watching the movies.
Right.
Those are the kind of things you can do. Remember what I said is find your sense of humor here.
Yes.
Do something that is fun. But
right.
don't do it with anybody else.
Right. So I know Stanley Park is also closed, but they are allowed walk. They're allowed.
You can walk.
You can walk, which is great. So you both know. I know Pete knows. So I'm a walker and a hiker. So we've got our beautiful rail trail.
Yeah.
That is hopefully going to be utilized.
Construction's
more.
still going on.
Oh, it's awesome
Yeah,
that all
stay-
the
just
those
all the
stay
bridges
three
are down.
They got 3 bridges down. Wow, that is so cool. Very, very cool.
Just stay way to the right
Yes.
as you're walking down the trail.
Yep. Well, the trail's only so wide anyway, and there's that little yellow line, which is great. But if you go out with 1 or 2 of your friends, or if you're in a line, again, common sense. So it's good to get outdoors. People do need to, get some fresh air as well.
Well, Kate, I want to thank you for
You're
coming by.
welcome.
This is Jay Pagliuca. We've been talking with
Yep.
Kate Phelan from the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce. And once again, businesses want to get a hold of you, find out more. They can do that by?
Call the office, 568-1618, 568-1618. I have reduced hours with my staff, but if I'm not there, please leave a message because I am in and out. I'll be in more than out because of all the canceled meetings that we have had to do, which is fine. But I'm very accessible. Please leave a message, and I will get back to you. We want everyone to stay safe, be healthy, but we're also here to help you. I'm very, very concerned and worried about my members.
Yeah.
And we'll get through this.
You're welcome to come back here anytime.
Oh, thank you.
Because I'll make
Okay.
time for you. So that last half hour of our show, we can do that.
All right. Well, I appreciate it so much, Jay. Thank you for what you do. Pete, thank you. Be safe, everyone, and enjoy your day. Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Take
everyone.
care. Thank
All right,
you.
Have a great weekend,
Thanks.
everybody. I usually say get out and listen to some live music, but now watch a good movie and plan on some good music. We're going to get some concerts out and get out and have some fun this summer. The planning stages are there. This is Jay Pagliuca, JP's Talk About Town. Folks, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Perpetual anticipation is good for the soul, but it's bad for the heart. It's very good for practicing self-control. It's very good for morals, but bad for morale. It's very bad. It can't very too boring. It's quite bad. It's very good for business. It's bad. It's very good to housing. It's very good to pay. The delicate heart.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Artsbeat Radio and TV. That little tune that opened our program today is Perpetual Anticipation from Stephen Sondheim's musical A Little Night Music. You're listening to Artsbeat Radio and Television today. I'm Mark Auerbach, your host. Today we're celebrating the 90th birthday of the prolific Broadway composer Stephen Sondheim. With me in the studio is John Pike, formerly of Goodspeed Musicals, who's now a musical theater teacher at the Hart School. And online, 2 of my favorite actors named Evan. The first one is Evan Pappas. And Evan Pappas and John Pike and I go way back to Goodspeed when John Pike was editing a magazine called Show Music, and he asked me to write a story about a guy in Promises who turned out to be Evan Pappas. It was the very first profile piece that I ever wrote as a reporter. And Evan and I have remained friends over the years. The second Evan is Evan Casey, who's a member of the Capitol Steps, the political satire musical group that I do a lot of work with. And Evan spent the summer up here at Cranwell, as he has in other years, performing the current show is called The Lion Kings. And I learned in the course of interviewing Evan Casey that Evan has done a prolific amount of Stephen Sondheim musicals in Washington, D.C. And after doing Cranwell this summer, starred in as the baker in Into the Woods at Ford's Theater. So, gentlemen, welcome to both of you.
Hey there.
Thank you. Mark. Thanks for having me.
Well, my first question, and I'll throw this out to John Pike. What was the first Stephen Sondheim show that you ever saw, and the first Stephen Sondheim show that you ever did?
Wow, the first Stephen Sondheim show that I ever saw probably was A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. Probably back when I was a kid, maybe in the mid-'60s. And the first one I ever did actually was Company. And that's when I was in college. And I played Larry. And from that point, I was a love affair with the work of such a genius for at least some 40 years or so.
What about you, Evan Pappas?
Evan Pappas. Hey, John Pike, long time. How are you?
Very long time, Evan. Great to hear you. Great to hear you doing so well.
Thank you. It's funny. I did Company in college, also playing Bobby. 19 years old, playing a 35-year-old. What did I know? I think that was my first Sondheim. Yeah. Also.
And same for me. I got to play Bobby. I was, I think, 19 or 20 in college. And then for my senior directing project or directing, I choreographed a segment from Company, the TikTok and Barcelona segment. But that was my first try at Sondheim. And it was a very short-lived thing because the only other Sondheim show that I ever did as a performer was A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. Yeah. What about you, Evan Casey?
Also, well, we've all done Company. I did Company. It was not my first Sondheim, but I did Company. I played Harry at Signature Theater in Arlington, Virginia, about maybe 8 years ago. But my first Sondheim experience was also A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum when I was in high school. When I was about, 16, maybe, I played Hero in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
When you guys think about Stephen Sondheim, and you've had prolific experiences with him, Evan, you as an actor, Evan Pappas as an actor, director, and John as well. What do you think has made him as popular among the general public as he's been for over a half century?
Wow. That's for me, I just think the man challenges us. I personally like to be challenged when I go to a musical or a play or entertainment is great, but he makes you think. Nobody writes lyrics as he does. Nobody, in my opinion.